Well, Beaumont's quite a unique hotel in many respects because, unlike some of the grand hotels in London, the hotel's only been operating as a hotel for around 7 or 8 years. In that respect, some of the grander hotels have been operating 100, 110 years, but the ethos of the hotel is one of a grand classic boutique hotel. It's got a very personalized approach in terms of its operation due to its size. It's 72 bedrooms in total. We now have 4 outlets. Originally it was a restaurant with a bar, and so with the vision, as we sit here today, we've actually expanded the food and beverage operations of the hotel. We're engaging and making things very much more relevant today than they were when the hotel first opened. It's a highly competitive market in London, but the vision for the Beaumont is to put it right up amongst the very best in London, from an accommodations point of view, and indeed all the food and beverage offerings that we have in the hotel. Well, I think again, we've got a new owner here at the hotel, and he's purchased the hotel, at market value. And London luxury hotels, especially Mayfair, don't come cheaply. So at the same time, from a business point of view, it's important that we look at the opportunities, and there really are clear opportunities here with the redevelopment of the ground floor areas, as your question points to. Originally, Corbin and King did a good job in establishing the hotel, mainly the main restaurant there, and they had a good bar at the entrance to the restaurant. But when you looked at the public areas on that whole ground floor, they were not utilising the space to its potential. So we've actually taken the bar that was on its way to the restaurant to a totally different positioning of the hotel, to the left-hand side where there was a residential lounge that was gaining no revenue or profitability for the business at all. And we've created a destination bar in that respect, and we've actually knocked through into the terrace areas, which were actually just car park spaces out the front entrance of the hotel. We're in the hospitality business, and yes, we like to park people's cars, and we're happy to do so. But again, that space lent itself to a revenue earning space more so than just cars sitting there. And of course, it's the arrival experience for the Beaumont. So if we think about your initial question about the positioning of an iconic hotel, it does start at the entrance of the hotel. So we've actually re-engineered the whole entrance of the hotel. We've added planter boxes. We've added 24 seats with 2 outside terrace areas that you can smoke. We've put awnings on above it so you can sit out there in inclement weather. And in that respect, we've also put a matting on the floor. We're putting tablecloths over the table so you can have lunch, dinner. Where the bar was on the way to the restaurant, we've created Gatsby's room, which is a wonderful room adorned with, Gatsby memorabilia, but also it's principally a lounge area that serves afternoon tea. It happens to also serve a la carte lunch and dinner, and of course wonderful cocktails from the 1920s. So a wonderful area to enjoy prior to going in the restaurant or after, or independently as a resident guest. So we've got the Colony Grill, which everybody enjoys, the transatlantic grill, which has always been well known. We've brought the average checkup. We've brought a higher level of quality of produce to the table, to the plate. We're charging more for that, but there's a market for food extremely well prepared of good provenance. And so we've looked at getting close to suppliers that we can produce things on the plate that really speak to the brand of the restaurant, but at the same time are entertaining to the customer. So we're really ramping up our food and beverage over the next 3 or 4 years. It's almost going to be doubling in revenue, and it's going to be contributing very well to the profitability of the hotel. Well, I think if you're talking about a luxury hotel, which of course the Beaumont is, and that's the way we've approached the design here, is one of comfort and one of expectation. I think the sophisticated traveller who's travelled knows a good hotel room when they go into a hotel room. The bed is very important, and we talk about basics, it is very important. Then you talk about the right water pressure and the right temperature in the shower. the right experience. So it becomes an experiential aspect. Bathrooms are very important, that they're of good quality, they've got the right lighting, and they have that sense of being away from home, and yet everything's extremely well appointed. The same goes with light fittings. When you're looking in the hotel room itself, it's about functionality. You're not staying in the hotel for 6 months, you're coming for 2 or 3 days, you've been travelling, and the last thing you need is the difficulty of knowing which light switch is which. So when we talk about luxury, it is talking about getting the basics absolutely right. The appointment of opening of doors, opening of shower doors, the appointment of the amenities. The amenities themselves have to be right. They come to sustainability. We're looking at bath and shower shampoo bars of soap as opposed to packaging in plastic bottles. DR Harris, that we work very well close with, we even provide a little tin for you to take away things with you. So again, we're thinking about the environment as well when we talk about the new wing, and indeed for the main part of the hotel. People who are buying at luxury don't need to see a bill with lots of little items on. They'd rather buy a room, pay a bit more, have everything included, you know, the mini bars, the drinks, the soft drinks, and not worry about whether they pinch a enjoy a Mars bar or a packet of biscuits or whatever it may be. So again, it's about inclusive value-added things that makes it very easy for the customer even on checkout. So when you think about the room, it is the engagement with where you're coming, what are the facilities that they're on hand to use, that nothing's too much for trouble, and then the service orientation is about personalization. Well, digitisation, again, I think it needs careful thought process. People want things to work efficiently, whether they're paying their bill and so forth, or whether they're booking into a room or getting into a room and so on. But I think when you come to a luxury hotel, you want that personalisation. And digitisation is a way, it's a service, it's part of the experience, but I don't think it needs to be upfront. People are after the human touch. So I think you need to use digitisation in a particular way, and be careful not to overemphasize your services on that. The luxury aspect is coming into something that it feels like home, it's easy to use, it's intuitive. So I think digitisation is fine. It's part of making things work and being efficient in the hotel, making sure the hotel works well. But I think from the customer point of view, they want the tactile feeling. They want that, the soft touches, the human touch. Digitisation, when it comes to understanding what people's preferences are. At the hotel here, we have quite an interesting way where we communicate with each other on our phones within the team about somebody arriving, leaving, somebody who's not well, somebody who's got a particular request, and it can move around the hotel very, very quickly. So that's a good use of digitisation within operations to make the operation work more efficiently, be personalised for the customer without them realising this digitisation that's created the opportunity to create that service. Again, innovation, as we touch with digitisation, one's got to be careful you don't go too far. My personal opinion is that people want a degree of simplicity. They want that engagement. They want to be wowed, of course. I think it's good when it works for the business, and I think it's good when it works for the customer from an experiential point of view, that it becomes more engaging and it's surprising.